Hey guys, Tom Duday here, and you're listening to The Crowject.
Kick on the way.
Oh, he's kicked it.
He has absolutely split the middle. Texan got his third. And the Adelaide fans are dead.
To win showdown 51. Kicks from 45. Starts right, but it's coming back. The Crows win. It's a miracle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Crowject podcast. Just want to give a shout out to our sponsors off the top in Pain Med SA, Trojan Aluminium and Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the Queen or the Pilot here tonight, but we do have a full house otherwise, and we'll start with Leighton.
How you going?
Good, thank you.
Had a good weekend?
Very good. Benny Mac, welcome back.
Good evening, thank you.
Nice to see you wearing your Celtics hoodie after a big win today.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, Damon. Welcome back. You weren't here last week. So
No, I've missed a couple actually over the last couple of weeks, but it's good to be back in person.
And you're wearing your Liverpool beanie, so you're up and about too.
I am. Isn't it nice, Ben, when one team lets you down, when you've got a plethora of other teams across other leagues?
Jump somewhere else.
There's
It's fine.
somewhere, surely, it's got to be a bad time for you if one of those other teams can't get it done for you.
It is.
Yeah, so you got up.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many damn games do you play before someone's a champion in basketball? I don't get it.
Two more series to go.
Because in most sports, it's you play once, you win or you lose. Whereas with you guys, it's
You
like
play
a rock,
14 games, don't you?
it's like a rock paper scissors tournament with basketball. It's ridiculous.
So it's potentially 28
Yeah.
before you
Jesus.
win the title, because there can be 4 series of 7 games.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought I was kidding when I said 14.
No. They actually could have played 14 already, because they've had
16
2
wins
series.
hits you.
Gee.
Oh, that's madness.
And the one they won this morning did just go to 7 games.
Yeah.
So that was just the one.
And that's not even for the title. That's
No,
just
yeah.
a...
Now they've got like...
Now we go into the prelim finals, essentially.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And then that's the best of 7. They like split. It's like the women.
Yeah.
How they've got the 2 conferences. NBA has Eastern and Western. So now
Right.
they have the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And the winner of that plays the winner of the Western Conference Final, and that's for the overall title.
So you just won the Eastern...
No, we're into
They've won the
Eastern
Eastern semi.
semis, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was bigger than that.
I thought tennis was complicated. This is nuts.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's just a whole lot of basketball. But moving on, let's get to football. And unfortunately, it's not the result we want to talk about. Damon, do you want to recap Saturday night?
Not really. No, I kind of do, because it's actually not... You know, there are losses and then there are losses.
Yes.
You know, and we'll go into what kind of a loss this was in a sec. But Adelaide, 9 goals, 12, 66. Defeated by Brisbane, 16 goals, 6, 102. In a game where the score, in some ways, flattered some parts of the Crows game, but also I think
it flattered Brisbane.
flattered Brisbane, exactly.
Yeah.
It was one of those where, for enough of the game, the Crows were in this that it wasn't a belting until maybe late, when it was just sort of, you know what, we're kind of out of legs here. Brisbane are just running over the pitch. The commentary, I've got to say, actually, I'm going to throw it out there, that's some of the best commentary I'd heard all year. This, what's his name, Speedy?
Brendan Speed,
Rate him highly.
he's great at the Angle Park Dogs too.
There you go.
He calls a good dog race.
Right, he calls a good footy game too, I've got to say. And he just had a good mix of people around him. And they were very, even though we were getting done, and it never looked like we were going to win that game.
Yeah.
We still looked like we were in it. There was still intensity from the kids. There was enough guys that I thought had good games in spite of the result. However, you sort of can't let yourself get too excited by what's that? That's a
6-goal loss.
6-goal loss. Yeah.
Bit of a disclaimer to the bloke who messaged us a couple of weeks ago saying we weren't hard enough on the guys after a loss. I will be honest with you, mate. You might want to turn off now.
Yeah.
Because I can't speak for the rest of them, but I think we're heading towards a glass half full approach with this game and not a glass half empty.
And that's what I mean about, you know, this game is very hard to get a read on where we're at the moment, because I still think it'll be Brisbane and Melbourne in the grand final when the whips are cracking, or at least in a prelim.
Yeah.
I can't see Brisbane not being there and abouts in the top 2 to 3.
Yeah.
And right now, despite all of the, banging of drums a couple of weeks ago, we're not playing finals this year.
No.
And this game reflected that. But what we all wanted to see was a bit of heart, a bit of fight, you know, kids coming into the team and doing well and respecting their opportunity, and enough of them did.
When you think about the fact that everyone said all year it's Melbourne by length of the straight, then you got Brisbane, and then everyone's underneath. 2 only lose by 6 goals.
Yeah.
When you are a bottom 6 team,
Yep.
which we are, is respectable.
Yeah.
And it's just a big improvement over the last couple of weeks.
And a lot of people are going to say, oh, but we were there at half-time. We were fucking right there. The game was in the balance. And it's like, yeah, it was. But at the same time, name me one game where the Crows have played 4 quarters of footy.
That's right.
Yeah,
all
that's
exactly
year
right.
long.
That's right.
And it's like,
Watching that second quarter, you always knew the second half it wasn't going to be the same. Unfortunately.
that second quarter was the best quarter of football we've played this year.
Easily. And you can start to... I hope people don't start questioning the Burgess effect after that game either, because that had nothing to do with our fitness, us not being able to run out that game.
That was Brisbane's class in the third quarter.
It was guys like, their fullback, Adams?
Harris
Andrews, sorry. My God, what a great defender. And that guy didn't get worse throughout the game, he got better. Yeah. And it's just moments like that where the class players stand up no matter how they're feeling, no matter how tired or fatigued they are. They're still class players. And they just had a class player across every line of the footy. And when their fullback is getting up the ground, taking big marks and dominating, you think maybe we just don't have the cattle to go with these guys, and there's no shame in that.
Yeah. And they kicked so straight.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they? How accurate?
They kicked
16-6
to our 9-12. So it's just
you break that
class
down, and it's like that's 22 scoring shots to 21
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah.
So it's an even opportunity game. It's just that polish that we're lacking.
How many times do we hit the bloody post?
Yeah. I think it was about
Jesus.
3 times.
Oh, my God.
Hayley's, well, not goal. The one that hit the post in the second quarter, I made a fool of myself on the hill.
Did
I
you?
was up and about. I thought it was home.
He's got this! It's going!
That was
He
me.
couldn't buy a goal. I think he snapped one around the corner that got touched on the line
Did
earlier
so.
in the game.
Yeah.
And he kicked one late. I think he ended up on 1 goal 2, I think.
One goal, 2. He had a great game.
27
I was going to
touches.
say, while we're talking about it, he was I've knocked him a fair bit, but I think it's only because he was a top 15 pick, and we hadn't seen that from him yet. And yes, he has had one of those games, but in saying that, if this is going to be an outlier, I'm still not going to be happy about it. He should be having one of these games every 3-4 weeks.
Sure. Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if he regresses in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's going to take a step back, because I think we're now using him, or at least in that game, it looked like we were playing him in position 1A for him.
Yeah.
So I got a mate who's a massive Central Districts fan, and he didn't get to watch the game. He immediately texted me and said, "Where are they playing Hayley?"
Yeah. They were not playing him on Crips.
Yeah, well, that was part of it.
Yeah.
And that was actually a brave move as well that we might get back to in a second, who we did put on him, Neil.
Yes.
But Hayley was playing exactly where Hayley's used to playing his junior footy, right out of the guts.
It's crazy what happens when you play him in the right spot,
Isn't it? I mean, some players can, like we look at Berry last year, who actually played admirably on a half-forward flank. You know, applied a lot of tackle pressure, let up, marked well for his size.
On the weekend?
No, last season.
Yeah.
But then this year we throw him into the middle and he's blossoming even more.
Yeah, he's gone to another level.
I don't
He
think...
had 13 tackles.
Again, he had 13 last week.
Average the most in the league.
There you go. But you compare that to Hayley, who I'm just not sure Hayley's as comfortable as being played out of position. Something tells me he's got that headset of being ball winner in the middle, and he worked hard to get to every contest too on the weekend.
Part of it, you think about it, it's like, are the coaches trying to reinvent the wheel too much, like by making all these players as versatile as possible when they come into the side. And I mean, like Luke Pedler is a prime example when he's kicking 4 goals in a reserves game.
Yeah.
And you bring him in, you play him up forward when he's a natural on-baller.
Yeah.
And he does nothing, you drop him the next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because the modern midfielder needs to... You can't play 100% of the game in the midfield anymore. You just can't. Either that or you're going to have to play 50% of the time on the pine because you're going to be knackered. So the Crows have been good in years past. Like, you look at Rashudo, for God's sake. He was one of the first gun mids in the ruck, beating people up, and then could go forward, take 3 or 4 marks a game and kick some goals.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a resting midfielder. He was a part-time forward.
But it took him ages to develop that. He didn't
That's true. That is
chuck that from the start.
That's true.
And back to Hayley, this is the first string of games we've given him, really. This is his 4th game in a row, and that's when he's blossomed.
Yeah.
Last year only had 3 spread out across a few different games.
And that's the perfect segue for what I'm going to get to in a second. But there is one stat. You can go through the stats in the game, and we'll get to the other one in a second. But they were just classier and more experienced at the end of the day. And if you go on footywire.com, that has all the stats for you. It even breaks down the average games per player. And Brisbane had 103.6 games and an average age of 26. Adelaide,
which is like the sweet spot.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And 103 games is essentially 5 full years of footy.
Yeah.
While the Crows are averaging 63.1 games and an age of 24 years and 2 months. So 40 games difference is 2 full seasons.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So for all those people who are shouting, play the kids week in, week out,
We are.
we are.
Yeah.
We are. It's now down to which kids do you want played?
Yeah.
We actually don't have a choice anymore. You know, we are by far and away the youngest list in the AFL at the moment.
And in terms of stringing games together, the other stat that you could look at when you break down the game, and we've got the stats here, but for those who don't know them, the most glaring one was the hit-outs. And we talked last week about how hit-outs mean nothing. But Brisbane had 59 hit-outs to our 34.
But it's weird because watching the game, like as you said, doesn't always tell the picture, because I thought Strawn played really well.
Yeah, he did.
In his first game back, he just sort of competed around the ball.
And that's what I was going to say. But in saying that, Scott Burns has come out this morning on radio or whatever, and he said about Kieran Strawn that they're going to give him that 3 or 4 weeks in a row and that continuity, and that Riley O'Brien won't come back in this week.
Yep.
And that's what you need to do.
And I've said this a couple of times now, that I've always got that impression from this coaching group that they will back blokes, but I do think that that's got a shelf life. You know, and I'm a firm believer in Fogarty, for example. You're back in the team, mate, and you got 3 games.
Yep.
You know, you've got 3 games to hit KPIs. Strawn, we're not just going to bring you in for 1, we'll bring you in for 2.
Yeah.
And you've got KPIs to hit. If you meet those, you might get a 3rd, but eventually Rob's coming back in because he's the senior statesman. Do you know what I mean? Like, Rob will earn his spot back eventually. But yeah, Strawn, and Jesus, if I heard the commentary team say one more time he's got a bit of Sean Wren about him.
Yes.
We know. Yes, he does. Everyone said it.
Yeah.
Let's move on, you know. Let's all just say it right now. Strawn's got a bit of Sean Wren about him. Now move on.
Did you know that Ben Keys was traded from Brisbane?
No, I've heard that. Yeah, even worse, he was delisted.
Yeah.
Delisted. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And Strawn started out as a rookie.
You're joking.
No, he did. Yeah.
Before we get to the best players, someone want to get up the changes from last week, and we'll just go through and give pass marks for the players that were brought in. Because I will start with probably the most impressive bloke brought in for mine.
Yep.
Selego.
Yes.
He
Yep.
played great.
That's a unanimous pass?
Yep.
I'd say so. Yep.
He did some things, which is... And these are the kind of things that you get excited about as a supporter. When you see a bloke and you're like, this kid's going to be okay.
It was... And it's moments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you think, you can't teach that.
They're not going to come in and set the world on fire for 4 quarters.
No, but when he
It's
does
just little
something like he was right hard up against the boundary line.
Yeah.
Cops a hospital handball. I forget who the Brisbane bloke is, but he's barreling down to come and kill him legally. But he just puts one on the left foot, hugs the boundary line, and he hits up a perfect marking option to the forward line. And as soon as the ball's off the boot, he gets decked.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That you can't coach that. You can't teach composure. He's just got it in him right now. So 100%, that's a big pass mark. I'm trying desperately to find the teams from last week.
That's all right. I'll go through the list. Fogarty.
I'll give him a pass.
I will give him a pass. I thought he competed well, and he did bring the ball to ground whenever he could, even when he was caught out of position.
There's a lot of spoils
Yeah.
when he was out of position over the boundary line that helped the field position. Like, it's those small things.
Yeah.
He didn't have heaps of stats, but...
You'd rather reset for a 50-50 ball than get outmarked, just giving the team a chance.
And that was apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently during the week, someone from the club came out and said that that's his biggest coaching point at the moment.
Yeah.
They wanted him to come in and bring ball to ground. Well, what they said was compete in the air.
Yeah.
And as soon as they said that, I thought, that makes sense. That is something that's been lacking from his game since day dot. He's been trying to win. It makes sense. When you're the biggest, baddest bloke in the forward line in every division you've ever played, you never have to jump.
Yeah.
You just beat the guy on the mark and mark it.
Yeah.
But you're in the AFL now, mate. You do have to affect contests. So if he starts bringing that into his game, he might find another role for himself further up the ground, which is where we need him.
Well, after hearing that sort of makes sense in watching his game, because it feels like that's what he focused on.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And was his main output, which is good.
And when you're playing on a defender like Harris Andrews, to be able to make them 50-50 contests as much as he did. I thought that was really impressive.
And force Andrews to be accountable and go to the contest with him.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Now, we've touched on Kieran Strawn. I'm going to bring this bloke into it because he was the sub last week from memory and he got a full run at it this week. Jimmy Rowe. I thought that was his best game for us.
Yep. Best game for us?
Best game for us.
Yeah.
I mean, 23 touches, 5 marks, a goal, 2 tackles, 5 inside 50s.
Yeah.
3 clears.
2 goal assists and 1
goal, 1.
2 rebound 50s. It looks like, yes.
Again, that is
So he
that
was just covering the ground.
Yeah. He looks a lot fitter this year, and it's their composure like Selego. We saw signs of that. Whenever he gets the ball, he doesn't waste it.
Yep.
And if he gets it 23 times a game, we're going to have just better inside 50s.
Yep.
And just it's that time, whenever I watch him, it's just when he holds the ball when there's no one ahead, waits for someone running past for the quick handball.
Yep.
It's simple things, but it's that class we need compared to Brisbane.
We've also talked, and Cream, you and I have talked about this before in like draft watch and segments like that. We've been needing that high half forward linking player
Tom Lynch.
for a while.
Player,
Since Tom Lynch, in fact, before Tom Lynch retired, because he was in and out of the team and lost it, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to think Rowie is getting closer and closer to that player.
Well, we essentially need another Jordan Dawson just between the flanks.
We need 3 Jordan Dawson.
Yeah.
Like one in each line.
The only problem is you can't have Jordan Dawson really pushing all the way up to a half forward line because you need him down back.
Well, did you notice
disposal?
You noticed the big coaching move they made early, which was having him loose behind the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple thing because you think the guy's so big and so good in the air. Of course, it's how you play him. But I feel like we've been determined to play him on the wing this season and get that boot in. And as soon as they did that's part of the reason why Brisbane couldn't score early on. Having that extra presence back there that wasn't bloody Billy Frampton.
Another player to touch on, your whipping boy sometimes, McAdam. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he kicked 3 goals, 1. I certainly don't think he was our best. I wouldn't even have him top 3.
No.
But, I mean, you take your opportunities and you run with them. And he did what he was brought in to do.
I feel like he's been a lot more
He took 7
consistent.
marks, which is equal most on the ground. So he's presenting well, marking well. Yeah, it's a pass from me.
I mean, it's a pretty good pass, mate, with 3 goals.
Yeah.
You know?
You take that every week.
Yeah. You're a hard marker, Craig.
I am. This guy, Nick Murray.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yes.
In fact,
What happened when his first contest of the game, you just heard the thump of his head on the ground, got straight up and then ran back because he didn't want to get off the ground and be seen by a trainer.
Yep.
And then you see the trainer come up to him to check him, but then he's fine, apparently.
Yep.
I've been saying in private chats with mates and stuff, we need to go and get a centre half back. I very much believe that's where we're lacking in the ground now. If he can just pull a few different things into his game, composure, not killing your teammates, accuracy by hand and foot, just basics around being a footballer. He's ready made. Like he already loves running and jumping at the footy. He loves going for a run with the footy when he gets a chance too. I've not so much in this game, but last season we saw a bit of it. He loves getting up the ground.
He reminds me a bit of Alex Keith, to be honest, in the way he plays.
Yeah.
Pretty courageous.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And last but not least, Mitch Hinge. I thought he was better than Murray. No offense.
I kept confusing him, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he just seemed to be around the footy a lot more.
Yep.
Obviously, that's because Murray's a key defender.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the ball was going down there so often that
I feel like he's a classic, just like a good footballer, and he doesn't seem to do anything majorly wrong. And we don't notice him all the time, but every time he gets his opportunity, he just does the right thing.
But you need those blokes.
Yeah.
You need that composure and you need that good ball winner off the back flank. And he's another one that was delisted by Brisbane.
He was.
So, excuse me.
Because we hurt when we see Lions and we see Cameron, all the ex-players going there, but we get a few... We'll see we get a lot of delisted or rookie players.
I mean, that's what happens when you bottom out and you desperately need new, fresh blood in your team. But we've done it smart. So, like, blokes like Keys were, hungry to impress again and hungry to get back to the top flight. Same with Hinch. But he's even hungrier because he missed all of last season with the ACL. Poor bloke, first quarter of the first game, he does an ACL.
No, Hinch.
Shoulder.
He did
It was
his
shoulder, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
shoulder. But
Wrong joint.
shoulders are the knees of the upper body. So,
Correct.
yeah, I know that'd probably be the elbow. But anyway, yeah, so he's even hungry. He's not just trying to prove it to his old club, but his current club that he's, first 22 every week. And so far he is. I couldn't imagine him being dropped anytime soon.
All right. Let's. I'm interested to see here. Who did we each have as our best on ground? Because I thought there was one bloke that was head and shoulders above the rest for mine.
Was that the desk?
Nope.
No?
Honestly, I thought Hayley.
Okay.
He was him and Dawson and Laird all probably are the best three. And I just think Hayley, he kicked a goal.
Yep.
Makes a difference on the scoreboard.
I'd
Probably the standout. What about you?
I'd say Dawson.
Yeah.
Mine.
Okay. Damon?
No, I'd say the desk.
The desk.
Yep. 33 disposals, 10 tackles, 17 of those kicks.
Yeah, the 10 tackles really does it.
Yep. But he's one of those where we just don't notice
You don't.
Rory Laird playing well anymore because he just does it every week. And it's
So consistent.
in and under. When he gets the ball, it's normally underneath 5 opposition players, so you just don't see him dish the handball. But nah, with numbers like that, I think he's just consistently the best again. Who was yours then? I'm really... You've talked it up now.
By a country mile, Tom Duday was best on ground.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he was.
Okay, good.
21
He was a great player.
disposals. 21 disposals and 16 of those were intercept possessions.
Yep.
16.
16.
Jeez.
He went at 86%.
Oh.
7 of those possessions were contested, so a third of them were. A couple score involvements. And
great
he did not leave the ground. He was there 100% of the time.
Bloody hell.
Well, especially with butts out, that's a great performance.
And he had 4 inside 50s and 415 metres gained.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was everywhere, and it just seemed, if you go back and watch the game again, second quarter, third quarter, he was just, it was like he had the ball on a string.
Yep. Pulling everything down.
Yep.
I think he had something like 13 touches in the first quarter as well, or something like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was,
Wow.
Yeah, he had a blinder. So,
Yep. Good on him.
well, when the pressure's on, your leaders stand up, and I thought he certainly did.
All right.
Captain.
What about the negatives? Umpiring?
Himmelberg.
Himmelberg?
Can I defend Himmelberg?
You can try.
I'm going to try. And I never thought I'd be the guy defending Himmelberg either, by the way. So just, this is new to me. Cut me some slack. I didn't think he was as bad as what he's and the commentary were copping him a little bit too.
Were they?
I still thought against one of the best defences and some of the best defenders in the league, he was still presenting up at the footy. He was still making a contest. He was actually involved in a lot of contests in the forward 50.
Yeah.
Just nothing came off for him.
I think nothing came off for him. He had a couple snaps that he missed, 2 behinds, but they could have easily been goals.
And if they were, we'd all be talking about it being a very different game from him.
Yeah.
Well, his numbers suggest that he had a decent game, but
His defensive pressure was what let him down. That was
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think the running up and back, because he did a fair bit of rucking and he did quite well.
Especially late in the game,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I noticed him in the ruck a lot in the fourth quarter.
I think he's a good second ruck while Thilthorpe is out injured.
Well, this is the key.
Yeah.
Thilthorpe on paper and on form in his juniors is a much better everything than Himmelberg, but there's no sense rushing him. Sorry, Ben, just to...
No, that's all right.
in terms of the umpiring, it didn't help.
No.
But it wasn't the reason we lost.
No.
Certainly not.
We seem to just get a very bad game of umpiring. It was not like that. You look at the stats and it's pretty even. I think it's our way on the free kick count.
Yep.
But it's just those ones that really poorly timed. The 50-metre penalties against us late in the second quarter.
Numbers aren't always reflective of
No.
what's not paid.
where things are given.
Yeah.
It was... We seemed to cop the bewildering calls. There was 2 or 3 there where everyone, including the commentary team, were just like, oh, that's bizarre that they've called that. You know, shepherding out in the contest when it was two blokes side by side, and there was, I think it was Rochelle that had like his jumper fully extended, being held.
I know.
And no one saw it, and you think, how? But just to show that they had a bad night and it was fair, Brisbane also got a goal taken off of them because that ball was clearly over the line in the forward pocket.
Yep.
Clearly, when was it Rochelle snapped a goal?
Actually looked like it was on the line, even though, like, it was curving over the line vertically, even though where it was touching was out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But I reckon if there was tennis hotspot technology, it was out. Yeah. So it was just a night for really weird and big calls too. There were big momentum changing calls that came out of it.
And being at the game, that's the main thing the crowd was booing about or making noise about. It wasn't about the game, because most of the time that both teams were putting in like a good amount of effort. It's pretty contested, but yeah, it's disappointing.
And that's the word that I've been saying all year, momentum.
Yeah.
In a way, you make your own momentum, and obviously we had it in the second quarter and we did make the most of it. But then Brisbane came out, and I think they kicked 8 goals in a row at some point, and they were on a roll. And yet again, like, yes, okay, umpire decisions also affect or influence momentum, but we're just not experienced enough or have enough leaders to know how to and when to slow it down. So it just seems like other teams have more periods of momentum and they just make the most of them, and that's why we will have or tend to have one really bad quarter every week.
I think you saw that in the Carlton game. So I wasn't here last week to talk about the Carlton game, but watching that, that's what it looked like to me. It looked like every time something went against the players, the head and shoulder dropped, you know, and you think, oh, geez, that's getting to them upstairs. And every time they scored a goal, you saw a few blokes with hands on hips. And it looks like we lost that game psychologically. Whereas I think we were in this game despite some of those momentum shifts. So the signs are there. I think we're improving, but there's got to be a lot of growth upstairs.
I think we have seen the team wrestle back momentum and come back from a deficit, but we don't seem to know, like Cream said, to slow things down when we can't wrestle it back and we're getting heaps of goals scored against us. We don't have that awareness. We just sort of chase everything and try to do a lot. If when we get the ball, just sort of do the basics well.
Ned Henry.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the perfect example of that at the moment when, you know, if you watch him, he does a lot in a game of footy. How much of it's actually influential?
He's trying his
little heart out. He's doing his darndest, but Jesus, if half of it doesn't lead to a score or lead to a contest, it's just Ned getting involved. And it's...
Do you think he's happy that Rob's not in the team?
Oh, he'd be loving it. He's got a free reign. Yeah, no one's criticising.
Yeah, he would have.
Go get a hard ball, Ned.
Yeah, he would have gotten home on Saturday night, and Rob would have been waiting there.
Yeah,
and he would have been like, "Good game, Ned.
You did a lot without doing much, Ned."
Yeah, and then he would have started having a crack at Ned, and Ned would be like, "Fuck you, Rob, you didn't even get picked." So
it wasn't even a sample game on the play.
Yeah. What fun are you playing this weekend, Rob? But yeah, no. I think I'm going to be honest. I said last week on the pod that when we did our predictions that Charlie Cameron could kick 6.
Yeah,
and he looked like it.
Came close.
And I think Benny echoed the sentiment on his Benny and the Bets.
What did last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said I hope he doesn't kick 4 this week, and he just
he looked on very early, and to be honest, he very well could have had 6. The majority of their goals were spread amongst the smaller people.
Yep.
Zach Bailey, and I think he kicked 3, and
Brown looked out on his feet by the end of that game.
Yeah,
getting 5 scored on you is exhausting.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what can I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, I take a lot of positives from that game, and I'm really looking forward to this week.
Yeah, as we should be.
Anything else to touch on before we jump off?
No, I guess it's time for the feedback.
I was going to say I'll get up the comments on Facebook. We've got Telby now.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to play the Telby, I'll get Facebook. Do you want to get Twitter, Damon?
I'll find
Do you want to
Twitter.
get Instagram, Ben?
All right, we've got a mysterious Peter. So I wonder, wonder who this
Peter from Hope Valley.
is. All right.
I know a Peter that lives in Hope Valley.
Me too.
It was all right, but I don't get it in Beauty and the Beast. How come Belle is such a snob and she's constantly saying that it's a poor provincial life? Like, maybe if you engage more in your community, everyone would think that you're so weird and your looks are paralleled. However, you're just a strange one. That is Belle. Come on.
Okay, sure.
I do have a retort to that, if I may. You see, I mean, Belle was living at a time when women weren't even allowed to hold office or own property, let alone read or write. So Belle is already an outlier. So for her for Pete to say that it's all on Belle feels a little bit victim blamey, to be honest, and a little bit of educated woman shaming, if that's a thing.
I'm glad he stayed on top.
So shut up, Pete. Yeah,
I'm glad he stayed on top and clearly was watching the game the whole time over the weekend. Next one we got Dom. So this is a long one. Stay tuned.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, just a quick one here, Pietro. Thoughts on the game and the club? We have two good forwards. One's 19 and one's 30, however old Tex is. Both our ruckmen suck. Our midfield can't move. Sam Berry's all right. I mean, he's a tackling machine. He can't be tackled. Our defence, gee whiz. They run around and they try their hardest.
They try the hardest.
So, yeah, feel free to send your thoughts back to me at @DomTromboli_. And if you've blocked me, please unblock me. Happy to have a chat about this. Yeah, cheers. Thanks, mate. Go Crows.
No, we'll give you our thoughts right now, mate. Yeah, fair.
You hit the nail on the head, Dom, really.
No need for a reply, Dom. Well done.
Well done, Dom Cromboli. Any more?
Oh, yes, there's a couple more.
Ooh.
This one from Tony Krem.
Oh, that's me. I was just having some car thoughts today on the way here.
So I went to Aldi the other day at St Agnes, and I'm looking through, looking for some things. I find some salmon. I'm like, oh great, salmon. Anyway, get to the counter, and I'm expecting Damon to be there, thinking, oh maybe I can get a bit of discount through Damon, or even better yet, say hello to Damon. Apparently he doesn't even work there. Damon, when did you leave Aldi? And why didn't you tell me? I could have just gone to Aldi at fucking Blackwood or fucking Mitcham, anywhere. I come all the way there to see you and I can't even find you.
I was thinking, when the hell were you in St Agnes?
Oh, mate.
That might as well be the moon for you. Oh, God. I love it. You start the theory that I work at St Agnes, discover it's not true, and then blame me.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We got another one from Cream.
Oh, Jesus.
Shout out to Elodie.
Now, there's a rumour going around that the Golden Grove Kookaburras are playing Elodie at full-back or in the back lines.
Oh.
I mean, come on. She's got goal scorer, goal kicker written all over her. Make her a forward. She's already been blessed by Lewis Johnston. He's clearly vouched for her the moment he poured a cruiser all over her head. So he acknowledges that she's the future of women's football there in terms of snag and sausage rolls.
Yeah.
So just a heads up to the coach of the Golden Grove women. Give her a run in the forward line. See what she can do. I think she'll surprise you.
Oh, great call.
Yep. Some hard-hitting analysis there too.
And we've got more. We got Cody Fry.
Oh my God, this is going to replace the whole socials thing.
Yeah.
What is going on, guys? Love the pod. My take on the weekend is we're not that far off as a football club. Yes, we lost to Brisbane by 36 points, but you look at all the key areas, all the key stats. We're not that far off. We're either ahead or just behind Brisbane in most of the key areas other than hit-outs. So if you look at it that way, it's very exciting moving forward. It has me excited. Yes, it absolutely sucks to lose. No one likes to lose. But as a young team, if you could just compete hard in those areas, it makes for a very exciting future. But I personally think we need to trade. We need to get a bit more a bit more heavy in the trade. Jordan Dawson, he's been amazing, but I think we could try to go hard for Jack Lukosius down back and Josh Dunkley in the midfield. We need a big body or two in the midfield. Like, we're very small. Bulldogs have 425 midfielders on their list, so I think we go hard for Lukosius and Dunkley in the off-season. They're still very young and they'll be a great fit for the team. But, yeah, very optimistic moving forward. Up the Crom.
Not sure on Dunkley.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No. The first half of that sounded like he was listening to the pod.
I'll be honest.
That's nice. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
I'll be honest. It depends what he's going to cost us, what we have to give him.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be expecting 800 a year, and no offense, but I don't think he's worth that.
Yeah, he's not
particularly when we have that many young midfielders.
Schoenberg and Berry that are both looking for that spot.
Yeah.
That are costing us $300,000 a year, if that at the moment.
And it's like Dunkley is good, but he's good because they have 425 midfielders. Yeah. When they have that many midfielders and he can go up forward and kick goals, and he might be kicking 2 goals every week, we just can't afford to do that because we don't have the cattle to do that.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't happen to have a Bontempelli, a McRae, a Liberatore,
a Bailey Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot him.
Yeah. But, yeah, if he was purely an on-baller, I'd like to see his on-ball numbers and his clearance numbers. But yeah, I think Port would probably offer him more, given that Boak's winding down, and I don't want to get into a bidding war with them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fair enough. We got one more from the same guy, Cody Fry.
Going off my last voice clip about the trade targets with Lukosius and Josh Dunkley, like, look at Gold Coast. Gold Coast need another midfielder in there to help Matt Rao. And Matt Crouch would be an absolutely perfect fit, and you can nearly go straight spot for Matt Crouch and Lukosius. I don't know what their contracts are like, but that's nearly a straight spot. Matt Crouch is still fairly young. Look at the Bulldogs. Bulldogs got a whole team of midfielders, and they need more forward targets. And Fogarty could fit straight in there. So you'd go Fogarty and a second rounder or something like that for Dunkley. I think we got a lot of good players. Like, you got Shoal, Fogarty, Matt Crouch. Like, you got a lot of good players that probably aren't going to turn into great players, so why not try to get something out of them now and get some great younger talent in that you can really build a leadership group around and really contest for a flag in 3 to 4 years.
Now, what do we think Matt Crouch's value is worth? Because I'm going to agree to disagree. I think we'd have to give up Matt Crouch and a first rounder.
Probably.
Or
Don't
second.
give up the marketing. Matt Crouch is great.
Yeah. Would fit in the Gold Coast.
Yes.
Future Brownlow medalist.
Absolutely. At the Gold Coast.
See, the thing is, I don't think he's the kind of midfielder that Gold Coast need, though.
Yeah.
And Cody did forget Noah Anderson,
yes,
who is a jet. But Gold Coast are going to look at him and go, okay, he missed the better part of 2 years because he was always injured. Then he came back in for half a dozen games. He wasn't good enough, so you dropped him, and now you want to swap him for Jack Lukosius.
Yeah. And then they'll say, do you remember the last midfielder you traded for us in Rory Atkins?
Yeah. Well, look what you gave us.
We're paying him $300,000 a touch.
Yeah.
So you don't think we can sell it to him twice?
No.
I dare say they'd ask for at least... Well, I mean, we wouldn't give him our first rounder, which would probably be a top 5 or 6 pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'd want another A-grade player.
We'd have to give him Matt Crouch and our second round pick, which would probably be like 24.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I would do that. If that was me, I would do that if it meant I was going to get Lukosius, because let's be honest, Matt Crouch isn't in our next premiership team, and Lukosius is an Adelaide boy, but they would also know how badly we want him, so they'd try and bend us over just to get him.
And you talk about bidding war. The hot take for ages from, no one that actually knows, but from everyone that sort of thinks they knows, is that Rankin to Adelaide, Lukosius to Port looks like the way the model would go. There's definitely, if either of those say we're going back to Adelaide, that bidding war is going to be the hottest we've ever seen.
Yeah, correct.
And the Gold Coast are going to make the absolute most of it, as they should.
So those are all the ones from Telby. If you want to leave a voice message for us, go to tlb.ee/Crowject.
Beautiful.
I like that.
All right.
Pull a couple from each of the other ones, and
I was going to say I'm going to give 4.
Because there's 41 on Twitter.
Yeah, I've got 24. Yeah,
there you go.
We'll go 4 from each.
Yep.
I'll go. Jesus. Come
on, pick one.
First one you see.
Okay. Cameron Schoenberg. Outplayed by a team who are clearly at a different stage with their list. The effort was much better than the last couple of games. A few positives. This was Hayley's best game for us. McAdams' first half was excellent. Dawson is pure class. The negatives. The third quarter. We were undisciplined at times and it cost us goals. Himmelberg, he needs to go.
Tick.
Oh, it's a bit of a slap in the face.
There you go.
All right. Linda Paps. I definitely didn't think we would win tonight with Brisbane third on the ladder. First half we were in it. But Brisbane form then on showed us how far we have to go. However, considering how far ahead and good Brisbane are, I thought to beat us by just 36 points tells me we are not too far away. And I said this in the Patreon group chat the other night. We'll touch on our contributors at the moment, but if you want to be a part of that, head to patreon.com/Crowject. That 6 goals was right in the region where you can either go one of two ways. If we had have lost by 4 goals, everyone would be up in arms thinking it was a successful game.
Yeah.
We showed a lot of things. If we had a loss by 8 goals, everyone would have been like, given how the game was at half time, that's a terrible half of football.
Yep.
But six goals just falls right in the middle, so it's like you can pick which way to go.
Exactly.
All right, 2 left. David Tuckwell. First half was pretty good and we showed a lot of promise as our team continues to develop. Got to remember, though, we can't kid ourselves. Our Crows were simply outbodied and outclassed by a genuine premiership contender with a plethora of stars right across the field. And that came to a head when Dane Zorko was pulling goals out of his ass from the boundary like he was, and fucking Charlie just shepherds it through on the line. Bit of Harlem Globetrotter bullshit. And last one.
Oh, here we go. I love it when Cream starts doing the analysis and giving feedback before he reads the question.
Anthony Nero. Changes need to continue to roll on. Loved inclusions of Strawn and Rowe elevated from medical sub. Tick, please. Time to persist with some young forwards, and I think we may have seen Fogg play his final game for the Crows.
No. I can't agree with that.
I think he did enough to play again this week.
Yep.
Yeah, like I was saying, it was those 1%ers. It wasn't the stats necessarily.
But I think he should know right now that he's on the precipice of if he regresses to what he was before they dropped him, next time they drop him, it's going to be a pretty substantial time in the sample.
Absolutely.
He knows
the writing's on the wall.
It's been like that for 2 years.
Yeah.
He knows.
All right. Dan, you're up.
All right, I'm going to pick the shortest Twitter responses, and this is not punishment for people that wrote long responses. We're just up against the clock here. B. Dosey replied, thoughts are, we are still miles away. Fair. Bound Seams said, Hayley good. Agree with that. Stephen said, can't play 4 quarters of footy. I'll agree with that.
Ugh.
Getting there. And... come on, I'm pulling a cream here. Can't find one.
Come on, give us one good one. One decent.
Russell Water Tower, Brisbane, the River City, home of the brown snake. No idea what that means.
Cool. Cheers,
like
Russ.
the comment.
But we love it.
Is that just saying you won the game, but your city sucks, or?
I think so. I haven't been to Brisbane in long enough to be able to...
We're just trying to find ways to insult the team without winning.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
Well, they were dressed like Fitzroy on the weekend, so how's that? That's...
Although the Charlie Cameron's long sleeve was great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Loved it. And Cream, he was the only one wearing long sleeves.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Man, you were looking for the tick button then, weren't you? You haven't got the iPad tonight.
I don't. Benny, what do you got?
I have got, none from Instagram, so I'm ready to move on to Beryl and Cecil of the week if we're happy to.
Let's do it.
All right. And you'd written on the run sheet Beryl and Cecil of the year. Was there a specific one we're looking at here, or is that just
there is
carryover?
No, there is. I will get it up in the meantime while you read that one.
Have you found it, Cream?
Some call today just made me... oh, mate.
All right, so we will start off on Twitter with someone saying, memo to the AFL and all ground managements after they pass the buck and say it's a venue decision. Stop pulsing the lights after a fucking goal. in which was responded to by this lovely person with a Geelong profile picture. You lost as well, haha. My 7-year-old was frightened by it because the drunks wearing spectators aren't enough to scare the kids. Add in the lights, and no wonder families don't take kids to the footy.
Oh, it's the lights.
The light.
Yeah.
It's the lights doing it. Definitely.
Just don't go.
Yeah. If it's that terrifying
Watch
an
on
experience.
TV.
Yeah.
Or just listen to it on the radio so you don't have to see anything.
That's exactly
You have
right.
to see the flashing light.
Because a TV is essentially just a light box. And that would be scary and confusing.
Do you reckon they drive down the road with the kid in the back seat and you go, Mum, stop.
Yeah.
Headlights of the cars are scary.
Freaking me out.
Like that.
What are those things? Traffic lights, honey. We've been through it. The therapy's not working.
Next up, we had Kimberly, who said this rebuilding is taking forever. It's been 2 years.
Oh,
Carlton did it for like 30.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
like, thank God you're not a Carlton or North Melbourne fan, mate.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And lastly, we had Jenny, who said umpires are making us lose, not Brisbane. They should be made accountable for their mistakes and fined like the players are. And the score should be to overturn once it's looked at, and it's really wreaking the game for everyone. Sorry, there was no grammar in that.
So
at all.
Brisbane should be fined for taking free kicks?
No, the umpires should be fined for giving
right.
them the free kick. Brisbane should get their scores overturned from the bad free
So fine the umpires that they're not paying enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then,
All right, that
and
makes
then
sense.
punish Brisbane for something completely out of their control. Sounds fair.
All right. We have on Twitter. I know this is a gigantic bugbear of mine, but we are not going to turn into a decent team until we remove players who cannot kick. We must play kids who can kick. Trade Ben Keys and Rory Laird. Neither can kick. We're not getting better with them in our midfield.
Yeah, no.
That's exactly the response. It didn't even deserve the full sound clip. Wow.
Scott Elder something on Twitter. I'm not going to read out his whole handle, but that's just fucking terrible. I'm sorry. And I've read a couple of your tweets from the other night, and you know what? I'm going to get one more up just in case people think this is an anomaly.
This is the first opening shots in a Twitter war here.
This is where it starts.
This is where World War III really begins.
Can you find it?
And if we want to get better, we have to make some tough decisions on players. No one is untouchable except maybe Rochelle and Thilthorpe. We must be ruthless to improve as quick as we can. Bottom four is crap.
So no one's untouchable.
And who?
Except for these players that I've cherry picked to make untouchable.
Yeah. Okay. So, what about Taylor Walker then? You're saying you'd fuck him off when he's come back and he's clearly the best in our team over the last 3 weeks, and he's fucking what 32?
Yeah.
The last year and a half.
Yeah.
This
Tom Duday,
Yeah.
you'd piss him off.
This Jordan Dawson bloke just hasn't panned out either.
Yeah. No.
That was a waste of a trade.
Yeah. No.
Don't know why we bothered.
Brody Smith.
Nah, I never rated him.
No.
Never.
Scott, do yourself a favour.
Be gentle.
I will. Maybe just like walk into a door or something. Like see if it'll knock some sense into you. It doesn't have to be a hard walk or a hard bump. Just like a mini headbutt. And see what you come up with next week. We'll revisit this next Monday. See what you got to say. That was Beryl and Cecil of the week.
All right, let's move on quickly.
Now,
can I jump in here?
You can.
Because while we're on the whole Beryl trip, if you're new to listening to the pod, you might not, or if you're not a Patreon and not a part of the chat, you might not know that these guys all treat me like a boomer because I'm a little bit older and I don't get how the internet works.
Have you got the tech box here this week?
No,
It's
I've got
because
the
he
tech
didn't-
box.
no, that one time he didn't press record. That was a class.
Which, by the way,
You never forget about.
No, my friend and mentor was on last week, and what's the first thing he brings up?
Oh yeah.
Is that
You know-
why you weren't on? Because you didn't want to be
No, I
scolded by him?
wanted to see Sean. No, I already got scolded by
Yeah.
him.
Shout out to Sean Craig Murphy, by the way.
Legend of a bloke. Thanks for joining us. But I thought rather than fighting it and arguing with these young kids, I just thought I'd lean into it for a little bit. So I'm launching a new segment just called Damon Dotes. I'm just going to dote on a player for a little bit. You're not allowed to say a bad word about this bloke for a little bit. All right. In fact, I'm going to encourage.
As long as it's not
You
Himmelberg.
know what? You should dote on a player, and we're not allowed to say a bad word about that player for
3
seconds.
weeks.
3 weeks. Oof. Well, I kind of like the challenge of, because if this guy has a stinker next week, the challenge is then going to be, you got kind words only.
We should initiate fines for anyone who brings him up, and we will donate those fines to charity.
Wow. Okay. I'm in if everyone else is in.
I'm in. You in?
Yeah, I'm in.
This has turned into a half-baked concept into a full-blown money-making scheme by you, but this is great.
Any way to raise money for charity.
All right, so my boy this week, you're not allowed to say a bad word about this bloke for the next 3 weeks, is Chase Jones. Ooh. All right, I'm not going to... Nah. So you're going to regret it, okay?
You know what? I actually like this.
But I'm going to get weirder and weirder every week, all right? You're going to
in what you say or the player you choose?
In both. We'll see how this segment evolves, but I'm going to make it harder for you now because I was how much cash you're donating to charity.
I was going to say, I don't want it to get weird to the point where you say shit like, oh, I wish I could see him in a bathtub with Ned instead of Rob and all this.
I want it on record that Cream said that.
Yes.
Me. So Chase Jones... Nice words only. He's finally, I think, found his niche within the team. He's starting to do some long barreling runs from half back, which is what we brought him in for because he was brought in as a runner and a good ball user. He's starting to do it. And you know what? He's just a good, wholesome looking lad. You know, he's the typical Crows bloke that we pick up. He just looks like he's from a good home in Tassie. You know, brushes his teeth every night. And none of these stupid haircuts.
He looks like something straight out of a Year 10 school photo.
Doesn't he? He is a kid with a haircut any parent would be proud to have.
Yep.
You know, and then Rowie comes on the weekend and he's like, what's it's all party at the back, mate, and no sideburns. And it's not even sensible at the front. It's a disgrace for a mullet. You know, and Berry, who can pull off the long hair and curls, but then has the most atrocious little soup strainer on the front of him. Well, have a look at yourself, mate. Have a word. And sort your image out. Whereas Chase Jones gets up every morning and goes, look at that perfect looking bastard.
He doesn't have to do anything.
Doesn't have to do a thing.
No fuss.
Sensible haircut, keeps himself clean shaven.
Straight in the car,
off I go. And I reckon he hands his homework in on time. So,
and I reckon he lives with Patrick Parnell because they're the same looking operators.
There you go. And so Parnell's another one that's just straight up and down, no nonsense.
Yeah.
Have they ever played in the same team? No, they haven't. That's because they're the same person.
Prove us wrong. So, next 3 weeks, no one's allowed to knock my boy Chase Jones.
And I rate that cool.
Yeah.
However, we did draft him as a winger. But in saying that, I do think he can move into a wing position in the next year or two. And they've just added an extra string to his bow. So, I mean, it's only
you managed to turn that into a positive. I mean, it was a bit of a backhander, but I'll allow it. It was very close.
We went around the roundabout, but we got there.
I mean, I will start finding you if that's how your feedback's going to be for every one of my boys.
I get away with that one.
You get away with that one.
All right. Just quickly, we're going to sizzle our Patreon. We did touch on it before, and Leighton has some news. If you haven't heard the last couple of weeks, we are pushing something very special to us.
Yes.
If you are not a Patreon contributor, and thank you very much to those who are, Ben will have the list of our $10 or more Patreons in a minute. You can go to patreon.com/Crowject. You'll get a whole bunch of shows, including Get Your Crow On, which is Leighton and Damon's baby.
Yep.
And you've got someone coming up, do you?
Yeah, we've got one all about the book. So we've got The Fabric of Our Club. You can pre-order now at crowject.bigcartel.com. And we're going to have myself and a few other guys who worked on the book in a couple of weeks on for Get Your Crow On. And we've had an episode about all the jumpers, all the AFL home and clash jumpers. And there's Obscure Crow on the Patreon as well. And, yeah, a lot of backlog of stuff you can sift
You can
through.
get my losing bets every week.
Benny and the bets, yes.
And we'll give merch to you, Damon. What do they get?
Oh, what do you get? You get some stickers. You get a lanyard. Are we still getting the bottle openers? Is that bottle openers?
Stubby holder.
Stubby holder. Sorry, you get a stubby holder, which we're not modelling at the moment. I think I said stickers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get stickers. You get all sorts. I've written a couple of articles going back through the draft over the last 5 years so far. Aim to do 10, but
we can't even remember all the stuff that's on
this
there.
is it. And
The plethora.
you sign up for $2 a month and get this plethora of content.
And a highlight is the 1997 Grand Final recall.
Absolutely.
With Sam Tugwell, which we are planning to do a few more of those in the coming months.
$2 a month. I mean, it's 50 cents a week.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
50 cents a week, what? Soft serve at Macca's? No one even fucking buys them anymore. So you might as well give the money to us.
Netflix is probably going to increase by that tomorrow, and you won't even notice.
Yeah.
So just make a conscious effort to see where your money's going.
And that's only if you want to listen to us. If not, then, that's fair enough.
What are you doing here right now anyway?
Ben, give us a list of our most notable Patreons, and thank you to everyone who does support us.
Absolutely. So thank you to Brad M, Drew Corner, James Payne, Jezza Withers, Sam Curtis, Ray O'Hara, Lockie Dan, Michael Bornholm, Shahin Marty,
good,
Jake Bockove, Sophie Damon, arguably AFL, and Wellin and Dave Carnivale. And also a big thank you to all of our other Patreons for supporting us as well.
And I think Damon actually bumped into a few the other night too.
I'm not sure that they're Patreons, but I hope they will be soon. So, Julian, if you're listening, mate, we met at 612 Brewery, a very nice establishment in my neck of the woods. I was a bit of a serial pest at their table. Apologise for that, but we were talking about Crom merch and everything. His quiz team was fantastic. A little bit of light bullying here. Their quiz team name was Not Megan's Friends. I said, how'd you come up with that? And they said, well, this is Megan. and we are not her friends. And I went, brutal, but okay, cool.
So they're more than friends? It's like a group relationship?
Well, I don't want to start speculating on relationships here, but two of them were Port fans, and even then they said that they owned the Cordy hats. So thank you guys so much for buying the merch.
You avoided them immediately.
Yeah, I stayed away from them for the rest of the night. Yeah, because then they started pulling out the Cordy hats, chasing me with them. But thank you guys for listening. And Julian is a good Liverpool fan as well, which I wanted to get in there.
Julian, I did bump into him at the Arkabar on Saturday night as well. He was there for the FA Cup final.
Oh, fantastic.
He's everywhere.
He gave me a go Crom from in the lineup at the bar. So, yeah.
Good man, Julian.
And there was one at the soccer as well. They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah, at Adelaide United.
Yeah.
Becoming a force.
Yes.
And
all right, that's the first half of the pod. We'll be back.
Do we want to plug the merch before we go?
Oh, yeah, right.
Don't.
Fine.
Ben, what do you got?
All right, head over to crowject.bigcartel.com to pick yourself up a Crom beanie, a Garden Stakes Guernsey.
Yeah.
We have got scarves.
You can pre-order the book.
We can drop
a spilled can of beer.
And if you're wanting to get any hoodies, t-shirts, head over to redbubble.com/Crowject.
Yep.
Maybe.
I think that's still the thing.
Yeah, beware of imitators, though. There's been a couple of people starting their own accounts of flogging Crom. So make sure it says Crowject when you go onto Redbubble.
Beautiful. All right. See you shortly. All right. We're back and we're going around the grounds. Someone want to get the pretty pictures up?
Oh, the pretty pictures. Elodie would be jealous.
I think we'll dive straight into the Friday night game without looking at the pictures because I know this one firsthand.
Yeah, Magpies lost.
Yep. Doggies got up over the Magpies.
I tipped the Magpies. I don't know why.
Well,
because you're trying to get the bottom. That's why.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They were down, 40 points early and it just ended up.
Yeah, 48 points.
Ended up around
margin.
That. Special shout out to Darcy Cameron. Fucking my multi.
Because it's his fault.
Oh, well, last leg was Darcy Cameron anytime goal scorer. And he was a fucking freckle away from a Joe the Goose out the back with a minute to go.
They only kicked 7 goals for the game, though, so it was a risky bet.
Fucking dopey Gardner got away.
All right. Next game, we got Richmond getting up over the Hawks, 117-94. Anyone see this game?
Yeah, Hawthorn brought this quite close, actually, with not long to go. They were only, I think Richmond were about 5 goals up with 5 or 6 minutes to go, and it was looking dead.
Yeah.
And then Hawthorn brought it to within 2 goals with a minute and a half to go.
Shai Bolton's in some kind of form at the minute, and I'll tell you what, Darcy Martin didn't take long to...
yeah, he warmed up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get back to form.
And next game, we got Port Adelaide continuing their winning streak, unfortunately, down at Blundstone Arena. Defeating the Kangaroos by 69 points.
With a non-existent Travis Boak, speaking of fucking multis.
Oh, mate. He was my captain in my mate's AFL Fantasy League. Lost it by about 80 points because he scored 38.
He had 3 touches after halftime.
That's rough. I think he was distracted by the...
I thought he went for a fucking swim or something.
No, he was distracted by the cool pattern on the ground. Did you see it on the oval?
No.
Are they still doing that? They're cutting it into different shapes and patterns and stuff. Good on them.
Well, in Tasmania, what else are you going to do?
It's all right, though. It's okay. Port will get rolled this week and everything will be back to normal, so it's fine.
And next game, we got St Kilda getting up by 10 points in a close one at Marvel Stadium over the Cats.
Thank God for this. How good has it seen Geelong lose?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Scares me a bit.
At halftime as well.
Scares me seeing St Kilda doing well, considering that we've got them very soon. But
the thing is, St Kilda are the opposite of us. in the way that all their wins this year, well, or not all of them, but the ones I can remember, they play average for like 3 quarters, but they have one really good quarter.
Yeah, right.
Whereas we might be decent for 3 quarters, we have one really shit quarter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the Worm in the match stats, and you're absolutely right. They were ahead at the very beginning of the first quarter, down for the rest of it, and then halfway through the fourth, they just pumped them on and got ahead. So
it's like
Geelong just got exhausted.
Yeah, it's like when they were playing over in Freo.
Yep.
Yeah.
King just caught fire. Fucking 15, 20 minutes, kicked 3 or 4 goals. Game.
Same as Richmond.
Yep.
Next game, we got Sydney smashing the Bombers. Absolutely one-sided game.
Rutten's in trouble here.
He is.
Which is a real shame.
Yeah, the truck is in trouble.
Remember we all had them making 8, 7?
No, I don't know
6
about you.
even.
I was
making the classic 7.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I was talking about this tonight. Mick Molehouse had him to win the flag. Mind you, that says more about Mick Molehouse. But it's like in any sport when someone says that the players have stopped playing for the coach.
Yeah. They were playing for Dustin Hebel because wasn't it his like 200th game or something on the weekend?
I don't know.
But they didn't really do much.
Such a lack of effort.
Yeah. There was like no stoppages in the game. It was the most free-flowing game, and Sydney just ran over the top of them. All right, next game we got ours, which we'll skip over because we've already touched on it. And then on Sunday, Gold Coast, in the biggest upset for the round, won against Freo.
You know, I'm going to give this a round of applause.
They won by 36 points.
They dominated them.
Yeah.
Freo kicked 2 goals in the first quarter and didn't kick another one until halfway through the last.
I did tip Gold Coast last week, and I'm very glad I did. Chol and Casbold have combined for 39 goals this year.
Unreal.
39
goals. So, I mean, they're on track to combine for, what's that, 9 rounds?
More.
2.5. They're on track to combine for 95 goals in a season.
If that was one player, they might win the Coleman.
Well, fuck, if they didn't, then someone's kicking a ton.
We need to get the old Dragon Ball Z merger technique happening there.
Yeah.
Make one fighter. That's unreal.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest upset. And then the next game, we got the Giants in Leon Cameron's final game, which we haven't touched on yet. The banner is out. It's gone.
Now,
Pete?
If anyone didn't realise why Pete wasn't here, it's because he went and got fucking blind yesterday to celebrate Leon Cameron's last game.
Yeah.
And he's still at the point he can't get out of bed.
And can we be, like, let's just clarify here, not because he despises Leon Cameron and doesn't want to see him have a football career.
He's just been betting on this
It's
for
just been
3
5
years.
more years of, I swear it's happening,
It's
Every
happening
week
next
it hasn't happened. He's said, I'm going to put a beer away.
Yeah.
So by the time his last game was yesterday, he had 59 beers to drink.
Pete, we're thinking of you, mate.
Yeah, but Carlton winning by 30 points, great win away.
And Cripps didn't have a massive game. It was Sam Walsh's turn this time.
Are we talking about Carlton being the real deal yet? Is anyone willing to...
Oh, no, I certainly think they'll win finals. I just don't know what they'll do when they get... I think they'll make finals. I don't know what they'll do when they get there.
There's no track record. It's sort of unknown.
Yep.
And tell you what, didn't Zach Williams go down like he'd been shot?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Did
saw
anyone
that.
watch that game?
Yeah.
Achilles just dropped.
But it turns out it's just a high calf sprain.
I mean, we've all had a corky.
He's only 27, so maybe he's got a case of the Brett Deledios.
Maybe.
That's a blast. We're going to have to explain to the younger viewers what that means.
Oh, Brett Deledio always did his calf. Whenever anyone talks about an old man's calf
injury.
muscle,
Brett
Deledio.
Yep. And then the last game for the round, Melbourne won against West Coast. The most predictable result.
Yep. What wasn't predictable was that it wasn't 100 point.
100 goal.
No, 100 goal.
I mean,
100 goal.
Yeah, that's not silly to say, is it? What do we all think about this? Because I haven't been on. I don't know if you talked about it last week. The Eagles going to the nightclub. Actually, you did talk about this last week, didn't you? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
That sort of surprised me a little bit. That shows where they're at as a club when blokes go out and they go, oh, we're gonna fine you because we're that bad on field. We cannot afford you to have a good time off it.
Yeah, they only had 27,000 people at the ground, so it's only half full.
Mind you, their COVID cases are going through the roof at the moment too.
The last 2 games have been like 10 goal plus losses.
Yep.
27 isn't that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised.
I'm going to be honest. This result was flattering to West Coast. If they wanted to, Melbourne could have won by another 8 or 9 goals.
Yeah.
This was one of the games where they honestly tried at some points of the game. They tried to be too cute, just to kick goals, and just selfish, going away from their game of play because someone wanted to kick a fucking bag or do what they wanted. So they could have won by another 5 or 10.
They just didn't need to. They didn't need to do that and maybe risk an injury going too hard.
No, that's fair.
All right, have we got a tipping or a fantasy update? Have you got tipping?
Yes, we've got the Port supporter, but AFLW Crows supporter Dylan on top by one.
Who?
Dylan.
Oh, here we go.
He's up by one behind Ben.
Yes, he pulled away from me this week because of Geelong and or Carlton and there are a few I got wrong this week.
But he got 7 this week. Very impressive. And then down at the bottom, I still only tipped 3 correct. And Peter forgot to tank and got 5.
Oh, he will be filthy.
He's even jumped a spot.
He has. Lucky Dan is in between us.
Where's Miranda?
Oh, good question.
7th.
Yeah,
well done,
pretty
Pete.
well. It's not. It's definitely not Pete.
Okay. Am I going to the fantasy one?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
Firstly, who did? No. Oh, I mean, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Don't ever cut off Mariah.
All right. Firstly, who did I lose to this week? Dylan.
Not again.
We'll go to the ladder. Who's on top? Dylan. Oh. Fucking.
This segment is going poorly for
Honestly, next year, no Dylans allowed.
Does that mean we can have one? Or?
We can have one.
Oh, God.
And I've already got one in mind. You've got Dylan on top from Andy Munro and Elodie. They are all tied with the same record.
Oh.
Elodie, the only one of those 3 to go 5 and zip in the last 5 rounds. So she's coming in hot.
Yep.
Just behind on percentage. And 0.05% between her and Andy in second.
Ooh.
Who's bottom? Sean Davies, 0 and 9. And then I am second bottom with 1 and 8.
1 and 8. Oh, who'd you win against?
Who knows? I haven't checked.
It would be Siam, wouldn't it?
I haven't changed my name changed my team.
Change your name.
I've still got fucking Liam Baker on my defence, and I've got Rory Thompson starting.
Oh, there you go.
So,
autopsy complete. We figured it out.
So, although we played the Fantasyland music, I'm not actually going to give any tips because I clearly got no. If it's Super Coach, talk to me. If it's fantasy, nah. But I will say, in Super Coach, a bloke doing me a lot of favours at the moment is Chad Warner from Sydney. Good young kid. I did look at him today. He's 721,000, I think, on fantasy footy. However, he's had a blinder of a last month, 4 scores of 108, 104, 102 and 109. And his break even for round 9 was 58. So he went 50 over that. So if you want to make a bit of money, get him in.
I like it. So was that Fantasyland?
That was Fantasyland. I don't want to ruin Elodie's reputation.
She sent a warning to the group chat earlier, and we just have to really protect it.
High standing reputation. I will say though, obviously, week just gone there was no SNFL.
No.
And obviously that was because of a state game. So
Which they won.
Yes, they did.
Over in the West.
Well done. Getting up by 2 points.
It was not that close at half time either. The Crow Eaters had them on toast at half time, and then the Sandgropers came back with a wet sail, which is good.
What a name.
The Basil
Zempler Sandgrove. And son of Michael Voss, Casey Voss, who's been in the news this week ahead of the mid-season draft. He got best on ground Sturt boy, so congratulations to him.
Yep.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, so obviously off the back of that, I would expect minimal debutantes this weekend if you're looking at getting a cheap bloke in, only because they they didn't play many VFL games.
Fair enough. And quickly on the SANFL the Bays won in the semi-final.
Up the base.
Hey! In the semi-final, you said?
Yes.
So who have we got in the grand final?
North, I think. I got to have another look, but I'm pretty sure North got up on the.
Hold on, we got to go on the SANFL app.
This
could take 15 minutes.
This is my punishment for not just knowing this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just pause for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
We've got.
So it's
the prelim. We got Sturt because they lost against North, who finished top of the ladder.
Yep, we belted Sturt, 71-14,
and the Tigers got up over the Panthers at Prospect.
Up the base.
So it's going to be. Tell you what, if it is a North Glenelg final, we've got to be there.
We've got
to go.
Yeah, and we'll put a friendly wager on that game too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go around the grounds quickly for the next round. Benny Mac, you got it?
I do indeed. So we will start round number 10 with, if you can't tell, I don't have it just yet.
We've got Carlton versus Sydney at Marvel.
Indeed. Interesting game this one sets up to be.
Finally, they get the right game of the round on a Friday night. Fourth versus fifth. Beautiful.
Two top four or top 8 teams on a Friday night. Who would have thought that's a good matchup?
It's a winning combination.
I miss West Coast on a Friday. I want West
Feels
Coast
like the
North.
last month it's been shocking Friday night games.
Oh, well, fuck me. Once you get to round 13, you got Essendon and Carlton, rubbish. Next week, Essendon and St Kilda.
What's Essendon doing?
Being Essendon, gets all the good time slots.
This is a floating fixture, by the way, so they've decided to do this.
And then the week after, Essendon and West Coast.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right, Ben. They're
flogging off Essendon.
Someone sat down and ticked all of those games off and gone, nah, she'll be right.
So they announced this at round 6. Essendon were 1-5 at that stage.
The signs were
let's give it a few Friday night games.
wasn't a mystery.
Have a look at the ladder, people.
So who do we think is winning out of Carlton and Sydney?
I reckon Sydney. I reckon they play well at Marvel and they're going to get the chockies. What do you reckon?
I'll go with Sydney, but I'll go with Sydney. It's going to be a good game, and for years and years I've just been saying Carlton will not win this game, but now I'm actually going. It wouldn't surprise me if Carlton get up. So which just feels weird.
I'm sort of same boat. I'm very close to saying Carlton, but I'll stick with Sydney just because it's Carlton that they're playing for the moment.
Yep.
I am going to say Carlton.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
one of us had to be brave.
Saturday afternoon, Geelong host Port Adelaide at GMHBA Stadium.
Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong.
Yeah, only because of where it is.
Yep.
I reckon Port. Unfortunately, they're in good form. I know, it's sad, isn't it?
We didn't make you tip them.
I'm still doing it. Just reminds me, playing at GMHBA, it's the 2007 last game of the round where
Dom Cassis.
Left foot beating Geelong in that terrible Guernsey that Port had.
The old SBS jumper.
No, it's that weird grey and gold.
The radiant one with the lightning bolts. Yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah,
some things just make you think of things.
Yeah,
no, it's like the Crows and bad umpiring. Whenever I associate bad umpiring with the Crows, I always think of that game at the MCG.
Right in front of me.
Crows and Hawthorn. 15 seconds to go. Rory Sloane catches Isaac Smith holding the ball at the top of the goal square and he doesn't pay it.
Yeah, right. And that was when Papley kicked the winner, wasn't it?
Papley?
Wait, what year is this?
I don't know.
2012 prelim.
Did Papley?
2012 prelim. I was thinking of the 20.
No.
Not that one?
No, it wasn't a prelim. No, it was just, I don't think so. It was like a 3-point loss in the end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
next game.
Anyway, after
off track.
that, so speaking of shitty suburban grounds, the Bulldogs host Gold Coast at Mars Stadium.
Why? Why would you? Why?
I don't know.
I get the idea of you play a country game and you sort of bring a bit of a contest to it. Actually, it will be a contest, but no one cares about the Gold Coast.
I want to say Gold Coast in this, but I'm going to go Dogs.
No, I'm going Gold Coast just because of the form. We beat them there, so
Yeah.
why can't Bulldogs lose again?
I reckon.
I just think that Gold Coast might not
Nowhere to go.
They might not kick. They might not kick straight. I think like the wind always blows a gale down at Ballarat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just see Gold Coast kicking fucking 3 goals 10 to 3/4 time or something, and find themselves 4 goals down.
Yep. I'll go the Dogs, but again, if Gold Coast got up and beat them, if they lose both games in Bendigo this year, that'd be amazing.
You can't say. I wouldn't be surprised if the other team won every game though.
Well, you draw at least one game every week.
Yeah, but that's a good point. That's a result.
It barely.
Result my ass.
I will stick with the Dogs on this one. I reckon they're going to make a bit of a charge up the ladder over the next few weeks. Their draw's a bit soft. I shouldn't even bother reading this one out really. North Melbourne host Melbourne at Marvel Stadium.
Everybody,
Next.
one, two, three.
Melbourne. Just like North at 21-1.
What's the line?
69.5.
I don't even
jump all over that.
Next up, we've got our game. We'll touch on that in a moment. Saturday night, Dreamtime at the G. Richmond hosting Essendon.
Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond for me as well.
Richmond.
Draw. Yeah. Nah, Richmond. Richmond will win.
Yep.
All right. Sunday, we go to Giants Stadium where they host the West Coast Eagles.
Giants.
Yeah, Giants.
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 Why couldn't this be Leon Cameron's last game? At least he's guaranteed to win.
Good point.
Another game at another different stadium. We've got Hawthorn hosting Brisbane at UTAS Stadium. And if I remember correctly, Hawthorn beat them there last year, I reckon.
I think they did.
Yeah.
That's right. Won't happen this year though. Brisbane will be too strong.
Yeah. Brisbane.
Brisbane Lions.
I'm going for Hawthorn. Just to be different.
Just to be different. Just to fair.
Yep. And if it's right, I can pull back on this next week and go, look at this. And if it doesn't, then
I'm a
this one,
genius.
I won't mention it. And to finish off the round, Fremantle host Collingwood at Optus Stadium. Fremantle for me pretty easily.
Yep, Freo.
Me too. Freo.
Fremantle.
Thank you, Elodie. So, next up, should we go into our game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Damon, who we got?
Huh?
Who we got?
I haven't got the phone. We got St Kilda coming up in the Sir Doug Nicholls round, which, it's my favourite round. I'll throw it out there outside of finals because of the if for nothing else, all the different jumpers.
Yeah,
it's just a theatre atmosphere, and everyone gets around it, and it's played in the right spirits and acknowledging the great contributions that Indigenous players have made to the game. I think we'll get up. I feel like this is
we'll win.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I think so. I think this is the sort of. Firstly, we've been trying to make Sir Doug Nicholls round a thing that Adelaide does every year. Like we've always gone, like we want to host it. We want it to be a big event. We want it to be our day in the sun. And I think
we've hosted it since 2014.
Yeah,
and we're gonna fight to keep it. I think
Port take Anzac Day and we take Indigenous round.
Yep. So I reckon this is if ever you're going to get pressure from on top to be like no, this is a game we win. This is going to be it. Mm-hmm. St Kilda are good but gettable.
No Jack Steele. No Jack Higgins.
Steele. No Jack Higgins. And I think we're going to take a lot of positive. There'll be a lot of young blokes that take a lot of big positives out of that game on the weekend. So won't be by much, but I reckon we'll get up.
Yep.
Ben?
I agree with everything you said there.
Cool.
I strongly disagree.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Paddy Ryder was absolutely sensational on the weekend.
He was. The tap work.
Unbelievable. And obviously Indigenous gentleman himself, I think him and Rowan Marshall together will have an absolute field day. And it doesn't matter who we put out there.
Yeah.
I think even without Jack Steele there, you've still got Brad Crouch. He's okay. Well, I mean,
he's having a better season.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Is it the first time that both brothers will be playing against each other?
Assuming Matt comes back, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Cairns last year.
Although
Matt didn't play, he was out all year. Yeah.
That's a good point.
And in saying that, I don't think Matt's going to come back in.
I hope he doesn't come
back. Do you
back.
reckon it'll be one of those streaks like, I can't remember the player's name, where they don't play against each other for like seven for like 7 games in a row.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't play him. But in saying that, without trying to pump up St Kilda, Billings came back on the weekend, had a good game. I mean, Gresham had 30 touches.
They just beat Geelong. I don't think we'll win.
I think they'll win by 4 goals plus, and I think anything within 4 goals is a win.
Yeah, I'd
for
be
us.
happy with the 3-goal loss or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm going to tip us by 2 goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going by 19 points.
Okay. In terms of changes, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think Thilthorpe's going to come in for Himmelberg.
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you think? You don't think they're going to be cautious and wait until he has a game in the SNFL?
Nah.
Yeah, 'cause what's he missed at this point? 4 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. I don't see us making any changes because of the SANFL.
Well, what
lack of
about
games.
Butts, though?
If Butts is back, well, hang on, he was out with COVID, wasn't he?
He was out with COVID on the Friday, so he'd be back in time for the game.
But it's whether or not he can get up, because anyone that's had it,
you won't be able to train
and
after a week.
it knocks you for about a week.
And it's like you'd have the captain's run on the Friday leading into the Sunday, so I don't think he's
So
going
if
to
he
play.
misses that,
Yeah.
then he probably won't play.
Yep.
So yes, I think that'll be the main change. We all think Strawn's going to stay in. Well, Scott Burns has told us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is anyone else out of form?
Not really.
It's hard because SNFL hasn't played, obviously. So, but do we look back at previous weeks? Is there anyone that stands out?
No, I think the only one that you can make a case for would weirdly be Crouch, because before the SANFL break in, when he was out, he racked up 30-odd disposals.
Yeah.
in the SANFL. So he's the only one that's just got pure numbers on his side, but I can't see the point.
I'd like to see Worrell, but I think, like you said, I can't see the point right now in the timing of things, because we have had a lot of changes last week when we can't do that every week.
No, we actually need to get to a point where we're actually getting a bit of team cohesion and stability. And this is probably the perfect time to go, do you know what, there's no other option but to keep a stable team going for this one.
Maybe it's because Thilthorpe won us the game against St Kilda.
You just want him in for that.
Yeah. Maybe you can regret it. But at the same time, I do think, okay, he might need match fitness, but I'd just like to see him get given a run.
Yep.
But as we touched on before, it's not like any of the inclusions flopped on the weekend.
No, I wouldn't say that. No. Slight detour here, but a player who has these two clubs in common, and a player that I think most of us thought was going to be pulling on the Crows Guernsey after the mid-year draft. Have you heard about Freeman?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's for those that haven't heard, I only heard this today, but he's gone. He's
gone back to Victoria.
Yeah.
Business opportunity.
Business opportunity.
Yep. Is it sports management business opportunity?
Something like
I think, was it Paul Connors he worked for, I think, previously?
There you go.
Do you think it's the club saying, we're not going to pick you up at the mid-season draft? Or is it his choice?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Combination.
And you can imagine if you've just had injury, you make one last stab at it, but then a $110K a year job in an office gets put. We don't know how sore he was after a SANFL game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, easy money to work in an office rocks up in front of you.
But then also, it wasn't like he was lighting up anyway.
No.
All these kids were ahead of him. Like Selego was putting up better numbers. Berry was putting up better numbers. So he's like...
he needed to continue his form of the previous year in the VFL.
He would probably be thinking, okay, even if I was to get picked, I've still got a fair amount of work to get ahead of all of these blokes.
Behind 5 guys that are 18 to 20 years old.
Yeah, so it's like, does he just want to keep thrashing himself trying to get there?
Yep. No.
Especially when he's had that many injury issues in the past.
Yeah, I mean...
not that I want to wish bad luck on the bloke, but you would have hated for him to work so hard to get picked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to do an ankle and be out for 6 weeks and just completely demoralise.
And you know what it's like playing at Amos level. Like you do a serious injury, it's never 100% afterwards. You still wake up with sore hamstrings and you still wake up with sore calves. It never fully improves.
I never stretch, so I still run thinking my calves and my hamstring's going to go any step.
Because he didn't stretch.
No.
Yep.
Now,
good luck to him.
Last thing before we go, Benny and the bets.
Yes, and we had a very nearly week. If anyone was keeping an eye on the socials last week, I posted up my best bets in a video. I was very nifty with my video editing, if I do say so myself. We went our lock of the round as the Western Bulldogs to win, so he started off very well, and I was up and about thinking, you know what, we could be in for a good week here. My best value bet, I put it GWS minus 8.5. Well, that didn't come to fruition, obviously. And I put together a Crom multi for our game, and I had the total points over 169.5. Now, off the top of anyone's head, do you remember how many points were scored in this game?
168.
168 points were scored in this game.
That's rough.
Oh, Ben.
Yeah, that was not great. I also went Himmelberg for a goal, and he probably should have kicked a couple.
No wonder you're so filthy on him.
There was that too. And I said Taylor Walker for 3, who very well easily could have kicked.
1 goal 4.
Yeah, 1 goal 4. So we were a little bit unlucky.
Hit the post like half time, which would have been a great goal.
Yeah.
In context of the game too.
And then I went my roughie of the week, and I turned the clock back to a few weeks ago when I said the Crows by 40 plus. And I said, you know what, Max Gawn's in this week. I think he'll rest up forward. He'll kick 3 plus goals. He didn't kick a goal. So, if form continues like the last couple of weeks.
This segment's canned?
No. This week coming up, I'll pick a good roughie. That's how it goes. Bad one, nuffy call, win. Bad, wins coming up.
So it's not play it safe through all the bets in the multi.
No.
Exactly. Exactly. So for cream in my multi, I like the Crows to win at $3.20, considering there's no Jack Steele. But if we want to go a bit safer, I know Cream said he strongly disagrees. The line's at 18.5, so I'm still happy to pop that in there. And then Richmond to get the win at, I think, $1.30 up against
Essendon easily
on Saturday night.
They're paying $1.29. And I'm going to say, as I touched on before, Melbourne at the line to win by more than 69.5. And I'll take Geelong head-to-head at $1.37.
All right. So we'll pop all those together and get them up. I'll
do it right now.
Do a bit of nifty video editing and a bit of graphic up later in the week when I've had a bit of a chance to study and get my best, my lock and all that sort of stuff up. And yeah, we'll hit you with that on the socials a bit later as I pad here for Cream as he gets the legs into sports bet.
Last one. Crows at the line with the rest of them pays $6.37. Not boosted.
Not bad at all.
Oh,
2 lines,
pretty
2
good.
head-to-heads. Not bad value. Let's see if we can make a bit of money on that one this week.
So this week, no Fanta banter?
No Fanta banter this week.
I think Damon knew it, and that's why he came in.
I'm waiting on a shipment.
On a shipment?
I have a package on the way in.
Do you have like 100 different flavours?
That's what I was thinking when he said shipment.
I've got about 10.
Oh,
Can I say, explaining that to Sean Craig Murphy last week, listening to that at home, that was bliss.
No.
It's like, no, you guys can do the talking around this one.
Yeah, well, I wasn't here anyway, so it was right.
No, that's it.
I was just in Canberra just demolishing the Giants after
you were too,
loss
yeah.
with Geelong.
How was that? You were at the game?
No, I wasn't, but I'd like to say it was my effect in Canberra that made them lose last week.
They were shook.
You were the 19th man. Love it.
Now, is there anything else before we go?
Yeah. Sad news, which didn't go to the top of the pod because it's very, very recent and very, very raw.
But it's just as
save the best till last.
Andrew Simons, who was an absolute hero of mine as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Certainly my favourite cricketer. One day is.
Yeah. Just a character.
Yeah, but when you're young and you love guys that just come out and just have a tonk and just clearly play like they love the game.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He was taken too soon at 46 years old.
When I see people put zinc on or like sunscreen, he's still the first one I think of.
Yeah. And
I've still got my Gray Nichols Predator bat.
Yeah.
He was, like David, absolute hero. Like, I genuinely wanted to be him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it was one of those where I can't see a hip and shoulder now in any sport.
The streaker.
Yeah.
Imagine if in his prime we had 2020.
He
would have been the face of 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have been the what's his name, Brendan Gale.
Yes,
of
Chris Gale.
Chris Gale. Sorry, yeah, absolutely. So thoughts go out to him and to the whole football community. As a mate of mine said this week,
and cricket community.
What did I say?
Football.
I meant cricket community.
Yeah.
Although he very, very close to being an all-star NRL player back in the day. Yeah, all the stories start coming out now. How about he nearly played because he was born in Birmingham. So he was very nearly a county cricketer for England. He was very nearly, like Mitchell Johnson, was also very nearly a rugby league player.
Or a tennis player.
I think, he played tennis. So all-round sportsman, all-round great guy, all-round great character. And, he will be severely missed by a lot of people.
Cool.
Well said.
And on that note, on the way out, just want to give a shout out to our sponsors again in PainMed SA, Trojan Aluminium, and Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini. Fingers crossed we have Pilot Pete and the Queen back next week. But make sure you head down to Adelaide Oval this weekend and get behind the Crows in the Indigenous round. Obviously, particularly over the last 7 years, massive round. Yeah,
35 metres out wide on the boundary line.
Yeah, on that note, we'll get going. Thanks, Dan. Thank you. Benny Matt.
Thank you.
Clayton. Thanks. Have a good week, guys. Go Crows.
Go Crows. Go Crows.
Go Crows.
All right, thanks for payment to say Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini and Trojan Aluminium. This is the Crowject podcast with our walk and talk after game. My name's Peter, and I'm joined by Jezza and also Nathaniel as well from Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini. But first I'm going to ask Jezza a couple of questions, mate. Jezza, what were your thoughts on the game, buddy?
Pretty disappointing second half. I was happy with the start, and then that second half we were just overpowered. Again, we tried in patches, but we're just a bit average with skills, smarts, speed. Pretty disappointing. Just a bit flat at the moment.
So you think only kicking 2 goals in a whole half is a bad thing?
Yeah, that's pretty ordinary. That's they just outclassed us. It was that quick, and quite disappointing.
Absolutely. But who was your best on ground, mate? For Adelaide.
For Adelaide, gee, that's a tough one. I'm a big fan of Dawson this year. I think he's probably been very consistent across the season, and Dawson again for mine. I think he'd be my favourite.
Excellent. Now, Nathaniel, how are you, buddy?
Oh yeah, could be better.
Why's that?
I wonder. Always get too happy and when we're up, and then just get a bit disappointed afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But your thoughts on the umpiring tonight?
You really want to know? I don't really want to talk about it. It was obvious from the first bloody quarter. Yeah. Why would you not get a 50 for when you mark the ball and then a player comes around you and stops you from playing on or stops you from taking your time, and then that forces them into playing on. And too many times when it just looks really blatant and everybody gets involved. And obviously it goes both ways. We got a goal out of one of them, but
do you reckon it was typical Queensland bias?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course.
All right, man. Who was your best on ground for tonight? Jez already said Geordie Dawson. Who'd you have?
Funny enough, I think Hamill played incredible because he's so quick. Even though if he gets himself into trouble, he gets out quickly. I think Laird's always there. Favourite? Best? I don't know. Probably Laird. Laird, yep. Laird.
So Laird, Hamill,
He's accurate.
Dawson.
Yep.
Accurate?
Yeah, Laird, for sure.
Well, we'll be floating around for a little more, guys, but do you have any other thoughts on the game?
I'm actually really impressed what they did in the first half.
Absolutely.
To see what a top 4 team is doing, and we come out and we show them a good game. Their first quarter wasn't terrible, and their second quarter is incredible. They got how many guys who have played very little games, and such a new team, considering they dropped 5 or 7 players after last week. I think they played a good game in the first half, and sucked to see Tex miss 3. I don't know.
What can you do, man? What can you do? Well, that's it from us from Adelaide Oval for now, but if we see anyone else. But can I get a real quick go, Crom?
Go on, you Crommy!
Go, Crom! Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks, guys. Oh, hang on. What are you pulling out here? Oh, please don't tell me you've been nursing a panini.
I've had 3 brioche this morning, today, and I'm going to have... I'm going to have a sfogliatella instead.
Oh, you need a sfogliatella. Miranda, look at the sfogliatella. Oh, look at this. I know this is we're an audio podcast, but I'm just going to devour sfogliatella live in the air. And Nathaniel at the moment is currently dividing one up to give to my beautiful wife Miranda. Anyway, my name's Peter. And sorry, almost missed Ray, who I was going to talk to. Too busy devouring beautiful sfogliatellis from our sponsors and Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini. Ray, what were your thoughts on the game?
First half good. Second half midfield problems. Not daring with the ball. we've got some pretty good kicks in the team, but they don't take it on. They just dump it down the line. The Jake Kelly effect. Also,
Well, he was playing tonight as well, and he shit the bed for Essendon.
yeah, well, we caught it, and just quietly, Lockie Scholl might be Rory Atkins into guys.
Oh, we don't want that.
Front runner, real front runner.
He does run a lot.
Yeah, no, but only in good teams. Good teams.
Fuck, you got a point. Who was your best on ground for tonight?
Tom Duday. Tom Duday.
Dude?
Yeah, the dude.
He got falconed at one point, didn't he?
Yeah. Running back with it. Running back, yeah.
We had a couple of falcons. I think Nick Murray got hit by a falcon, didn't he, Jezza?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped it.
I thought it hit him in the chin, but we'll give him a chest.
A chin chest. Something starting with C.
Yeah, exactly. It was a spoil.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Look, my personal thoughts are on the game. It's good to see the kids getting another run. There's been some calls online for Nixie. You know, the chair's getting a little bit warm or hot. What are your thoughts, Ray?
My thoughts is that Nix is like Craig Bellamy without the success yet. He's about good people, fit into our culture or get out. That's why when all the young people come on to the media, they're always saying thank you, they're always saying please, they're always saying thank you for...
They got manners?
They do have manners. They're good people.
Yeah, they're good people.
Fit into the culture or get out.
Yeah, fit in or fuck off.
I wasn't going to swear.
Yeah, well, that's my role, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. No, Ray, thank you so much.
No worries, mate.
It's always good to see you. But... Hello, Jade.
Hi, Peter.
Hello, Ebony.
Listen, you know why I'm pissed off?
Yeah, why?
Because when Jimmy kicked his goal, I was so excited, right? I was
Jimmy
like,
Rowe?
yes. I was like, Jimmy,
Jimmy,
I love you. And the guys behind me, these old fuckers, were making fun of me.
Why?
I don't know, because they're old and ugly.
Men are the worst, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, except you.
Oh, thank you. And what about Ray, friend of the pod and Patreon?
Too.
Yeah. So what about Jezza?
I like Jezza too.
Miranda, what do you think of me? Yeah. It's only my wife.
Anyway, gotta go be a boomer and catch the bus.
Okay. Enjoy being a boomer and catching bus. Hi, Eb.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. What do you think of the game?
I was alright, I
Yeah.
guess.
The first half was really good.
Yeah, the first half was really good. The second half was really shit, wasn't it?
We went downhill.
Yeah.
We definitely went downhill.
But it was the umpires too. Not all of it.
Not all.
They're cheaters! Like my ex-boyfriend!
Stop.
Just thought I'd let you know.
Stop.
Yeah. And wasn't he a fucking dog?
Yeah, dog move!
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thoughts on your best on ground, Ebony? Other than the cheaters, dogs.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. Dawson for me.
Yeah, Jordan Dawson.
Yeah, I love him.
What about Jimothy Rowe?
Second.
Yeah, second.
Yep. I love him. The
What
hair,
about-
everything.
Yeah, the hair. Just making sure we were recording. I didn't want to do a Damon.
And third, look, I think I'll give it to Ned Henry.
Yeah.
He tried his heart out. But
He's full of heart, isn't he?
We're just not good enough.
Yeah. You got 2 flags there too. And what was your thoughts about being on the ground?
It was really good. Wait, look at our selfie with Mike Rasher.
It was spectacular.
Hang on. It looks like he's
Spectacular.
randomly spawned in the background, like a GTA character.
He does look like a non-playable character in that. I'm going to put that on the socials, actually. Show it around. So you can see Jade's taking a selfie, and it looks like Mark Rashudo's just spawned.
Literally a GTA character.
Yeah. It looks like if you go left, right, you know, L1, L2, L1, L2, a tiger tank's just going to spawn on top.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, you got to love him.
All right, we better go.
All right, enjoy being a boomer.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Give that to Ben.
Okay, I'll give it to Ben.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I love you, Cream.
Oh, jeez.
You're all amazing.
Okay. All right, enjoy riding the bus. I don't know what that was. Yeah. Now they're getting into a fight with the guy with the Port fan. But I don't know what's going on. But that's it for the walk and talk. Miranda, was that an experience? My beautiful wife's come along for the first time, and yeah. And now I'm stuck with a Jordan Dawson match winner select highlights card. Ben, I need to give this to you. My name's Peter. Go Crom, I think. Okay, bye.